Hello and welcome to the ScatterVolt channel, and today let's discuss what are the best graphics cards worth buying in December 2023. If you clicked on this video, then that probably means you didn't get the graphics card you were looking for after Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and you need to pick something up before the holidays. And if that's you, good, because this video is going to detail what graphics cards are still worth picking up this late into 2023 and which graphics cards have actually gone up in price, or worse, are completely out of stock and may no longer be seen again in the GPU market. So something cool I think we can all try out just in this video is to spam the like button. And that's not because I'm greedy, but that's because I think we can all help out a bunch of other PC gamers who are currently scrambling to find graphics cards right now this late into the holiday season. And the more likes this video gets, the more exposure it can get in the YouTube algorithm to hopefully, like I said, help out other PC gamers who are desperately looking for a graphics card right now. So I think that could be something helpful. And on that matter, this could be the last video I make of its kind for a while. So I want to make sure that it's a good one. So let's try that out. And with all that said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Level up your PC hardware this holiday season through Cooler Master, like with their new MA824 Stealth CPU cooler. This is a very bulky CPU cooler, but I feel like that's more indicative of its potential performance, as it is one of the best CPU coolers on the market for cooling performance and also low noise output. It also features a more intuitive design that makes you really appreciate the complexity of this cooler, and simply, if you want one of the best CPU coolers on the market that isn't water cooled, then I think the MA824 Stealth should be one to consider. But if you wanted a high quality power supply, Cooler Master has the GX3 Gold that comes in different wattages, all the way from 750 to 1250 watts. And beyond the impressive internals, it does have a pretty unique external design which actually keeps its thermal performance down, all the while delivering all that wattage and power your PC needs. And it even features a unique ATX 3.0 90-degree cable, which due to its design can actually reduce its overall temperature by 5 degrees Celsius to ensure a long-lasting connection and reduce overall cable wear. And lastly, if you want a more intimate PC building experience, then Cooler Master has their new Cube 500 Flat Pack, which is an innovative flat pack designed PC case that you assemble from the ground up. And despite that, it does still feature a lot of versatility and usage for different system configurations. If you wanted to throw in different motherboard sizes, different AIO placements inside this case, go with a vertical or a horizontal GPU mount, you can do that with the Cube 500 Flat Pack, with including multiple different accessories and different colors to ultimately allow you to create a very personalized system with this case. So all of these Cooler Master items will be linked in the description below. Okay, so under $100, you can't really find anything brand new. In fact, probably the only graphics card you can buy brand new right now is an old school RX 580 or RX 570. But as per a recent update from AMD, these graphics cards are no longer going to be receiving graphics card driver updates, therefore kind of making them obsolete. So RIP, it was good. And even with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, the only other brand new graphics card that actually came down to $100 with a discount was the Intel ARC A380, but technically this didn't go below $100. And it's the best of the other graphics cards that are kind of within its price range between the 6400 and the cursed 1630. Well, the 6400 is also really cursed, just this one's, yeah, not good. So what do I recommend for under $100? Well, it's really simple. Go onto jawa.gg or whatever your used GPU retailer is, whether that be eBay, Mercari, whatever, and pick yourself up a used RX 5600 XT or a used RX 5500 XT. Both of these graphics cards are on a really nice discount on the used market, and they are definitely cheaper than their Nvidia counterparts because Radeon graphics cards just are always cheaper than Nvidia cards. That's just how it is. But in turn, you get a lot better performance for the dollar. And these are still RDNA GPUs. They're not on an older architecture. These are part of AMD's first RDNA GPUs that ever came out, and their VRAM is still okay. Although the 5600 XT is 6 gigs of VRAM, if you're spending under $100 for a graphics card, I'm willing to bet you're playing at no higher than a resolution of 1080p, and that's totally fine. And in fact, on this card, it's faster than an RTX 2060, and used RTX 2060s go for about $150. So you're saving maybe about 50 bucks on this graphics card here. And the cheaper version of that is the 5500 XT, which if you are gonna get this used, make sure you get the 8GB version. That gets you an extra 4 gigs of VRAM over the base 4 gig model, and it'll just let you be more future-proof at 1080p or maybe even higher resolution games. Although I don't know what you'd be playing on this graphics card at 1440p, but more VRAM is always better. And for under $200, I've got quite a few graphics cards in front of me. Let's go into each one, starting with the one graphics card I would definitely not buy for under $200, both new and used. And that is, this guy right here, the RTX 3050. It's definitely not Nvidia's best graphics card. I mean, when it comes to their lower end graphics cards, they really lack in terms of raw performance, which is really upsetting to see because their higher end graphics cards are just a lot better. But the 3050 definitely is the worst end of the stick when it comes to the entire RTX 3000 lineup of graphics cards. And this brand new is probably right at $200 and below. Used is also below $200, but the other graphics cards I'm gonna show you here on the table just outperform this outright. And even if you throw on DLSS onto this RTX 3050, it's still gonna get smoked by all of these other graphics cards. DLSS will not save the 3050, so don't get it. So I'll go ahead and cut to the chase for the best graphics card right now, under $200, brand new. And yes, it does come in this pretty funky looking graphics card box, but trust me, it's a killer deal, brand new. It's not refurbished. It comes with a 2-year warranty, and it is the Radeon RX 6600M that you can buy off of AliExpress. And in a nutshell, this is basically an RX 6600 just on AliExpress. The performance is gonna be pretty much the same. Power efficiency is going to be pretty much the same, but if anything, the 6600M might be more efficient because it's based off of a mobile variant of the RX 6600. But the most significant part is that this brand new is going to be about $50 cheaper than an RX 6600. So yeah, I definitely think it's worth taking a shot on one of these brand new Soyo AliExpress RX graphics cards. That's what I did for my $400 gaming PC build guide, and I found a lot of good success. So I think getting this used 6600M is a good idea. But if $145 was still too expensive for you, you can get a brand new RX 5700 from Soyo for $120. I'll link the exact same graphics card that I used for my $400 gaming PC build guide that featured that same graphics card, which I benchmarked, I tested on different games, and like I said, it ran just like an RX 5700. So if you wanted something cheaper that could still do excellent 1080p gaming performance with 8 gigs of VRAM, that is it. But as I just alluded to, you can, once again, get the 5700 XT, both new or used, from AliExpress, brand new, or from whatever your used marketplace of choice is for a used 5700 XT. However, I did notice there's been a bit of a price increase for 5700 XTs brand new on AliExpress. They're no longer 160 bucks, they're more like 175. So that's a little bit upsetting, but not too bad, because it's still very excellent value, and it's still gonna be faster than a 6600, although the 5700 XT will draw more power if that is a concern for you. Which leads us to the 6600. This is probably the last of the bunch. Once again, I think the 6600M, 5700, 5700 XT are all excellent graphics cards, and the 6600 in its own right, even brand new for just under $200, is also a very excellent value. I just don't think it's as strong of a value as the other graphics cards that I just covered. But right now you can get this for about $190 to $200 brand new. That's pretty good, but I'd argue maybe save up a bit more for one of the other graphics cards we'll cover later in this video if you can get one of those other 3 GPUs I just listed for about 50 bucks less than this. Which then leaves us with the odd man out, which is the ARC A580. This just came out. Honestly, all it needs is a price decrease, because right now it's sitting at about $170, and I would not consider this graphics card unless it's about $150 brand new. So it needs to go on a decrease. There's nothing wrong with it. apart from it being an Intel ARC graphics card, so its day one graphics card driver support for certain games on launch could be finicky, just like what we saw with Starfield with Intel ARC graphics cards. But other than that, it's a well-rounded card. It does draw in more power, but it makes up for that with some pretty decent raw performance. It just needs to go on a discount. But if you're a video editor and you wanted a cheap graphics card that could do video editing and gaming, and that's where the A580 could actually shine, because Intel ARC graphics cards, surprisingly, are actually kind of decent when it comes to video editing. They may even be better than Nvidia at their own game at their certain price tag. So there's that as well, but still, it needs a discount. Now for under $300, I'm actually not too crazy about it, because all of these prices for these graphics cards have gone up since Black Friday and Cyber Monday, with the exception of one. So let's start with the graphics card that you shouldn't get in this price range, and that is the RTX 3060 12GB. Reason being, it actually never went on a discount. With Black Friday and Cyber Monday, the 12 gig version of this graphics card never went below $290, which is such a stinker, because this summer it was selling for as low as $260. That said though, despite its flashy looking 12GB VRAM that's on the box for this graphics card, it's just an underpowered graphics card at the end of the day, and it's a little bit sad to see. The 3060 really should be selling for below $250 brand new, but that hasn't happened yet. So as far as value goes, I would stay away from this, especially if you can literally get the 4060 for 10 bucks more. But even the 4060 is a little bit of a questionable graphics card in this price segment, because just like the 3060, it's gone up, or actually hasn't gone up, it's pretty much stayed bang on at the same price. This is currently selling at $300 during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. This never went below $290. Also a bit of a stinker, but unlike the 3060, this is an RTX 4000 series graphics card. It does support DLSS 3.0 frame generation and improved ray tracing performance, and is an ideal graphics card in this price range if you do any 3D modeling or AI applications, which is a small amount of you watching this video, because if you're a gamer, there's a certain graphics card from AMD for literally $10 more that is much better hardware-wise and gaming performance-wise than the 4060. But before we get into that later in the video, I don't think this is worth picking up in December at $300, because like I said, there's other graphics cards we're about to cover in this segment that are better bang for the buck, like the A750, which sounds weird to say, but it's actually made a little bit of a comeback. During Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you could get this graphics card for below $200, and right now on Amazon, even post Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you can grab this exact limited edition A750 for $180. So yes, even though this is the $200 to $300 category for this video, this A750 is still on a crazy discount. And all things considered, you're getting a lot of hardware for $180. And just like what I said for the A580, the main pitfall for these ARC graphics cards are going to be finicky day one driver support for certain PC games, like what we saw with Starfield on ARC graphics cards. That's just about the only pitfall, because Intel's graphics card development team are not as up to speed as Nvidia or AMD. But if you're willing to give this graphics card a little bit of extra time at the launch of certain PC titles, again, that's not guaranteed for all of them. Like Starfield was a mess, but Forza Motorsport ran fine on my A750 for my $600 gaming PC build video, even though that game had only been out for 3 days at that point. Just gotta give this graphics card a little bit of patience here and there. But other than that, the hardware is still pretty fantastic. And besides that, it does draw a little bit more power than maybe what you want for a graphics card in this price range, which I don't think should be too concerning if you live in North America. But if you live in Europe, where power energy usage is expensive, then maybe you don't want an A750. And that's where an RX 6600 could be more sensible. Which then leaves us with these two graphics cards, the RX 7600 and the 6650 XT, which unfortunately have undergone price increases, which is kind of poo-poo, because before this video, you could get the RX 7600 for $240 brand new, which was really good. And you could have gotten the 6650 XT for $220 brand new, which would have been really good. but they've both gone up in about $20 in price. I'd say between the two, the 7600 is my pick because it's simply newer, comes with the AV1 codec, has better ray tracing performance, and I think is a little bit more power efficient than the 6650 XT. But even then, these are still good graphics cards for the price. They just aren't as good as where they were before this video. If I had to choose my favorite graphics card for under 300 bucks, it's gonna have to be a tie between these two graphics cards. Whichever one is on a bigger discount gets my vote. Now for over $300, like I said, I would think twice about getting an RTX 4060 because for literally $10 more, you can pick up an RX 6700 XT, which is the first graphics card out of this entire video I'm comfortable recommending because compared to Black Friday and Cyber Monday versus right now, this has only undergone a $10 price increase. You can get it for $310, which is still very fantastic, and they look to still be in stock, which is great news because this still is one of the best price to performing graphics cards on the market. That is also one of the best all-around graphics cards when it comes to just the hardware included, the features, and like I said, the overall performance and usability. And the good news continues because the RX 6750 XT is still on discount even after Black Friday and Cyber Monday, sitting at about $340 brand new. That is still very good. It's just a beefed up RX 6700 XT with better memory. And like I said, all of the pros for the 6700 XT extend to this graphics card. It's just gonna be faster, but it will consume more power. So if you wanted to alleviate that, you can just simply use an undervolt and Radeon Adrenalin software to quickly take care of that. So in this price category, pick whichever one fits your budget. Both of these are gonna do pretty much 95% of PC games at 1440p resolution. Now under $400, we're gonna need some Fs in the chat because unfortunately my prediction came true and the RX 6800 from the looks of it is no longer going to be produced, and I think it's going to be out of stock forever, probably. On Newegg, it's really barren. On Amazon, there's only one graphics card from XFX, and that isn't a good price. Whereas before Black Friday and Cyber Monday, this probably was the best graphics card deal. No, second best graphics card deal, or third. Yeah, it's in the top 3 for sure, but this is no longer being produced, which is sad to see because it was a really great all-around graphics card, so thank you. Which leaves us with only 2 other graphics cards. Now, one of these is a major disappointment, and the other one just needs to be cheaper. So I'll tell you which one is which. The 4060 Ti is the one that's a major disappointment because no matter how much software upgrades there are for these Nvidia RTX 4000 graphics cards, that'll never be enough to supplement the hardware that comes with these permanently. And this 4060 Ti 8GB model has very nerfed memory. It's got basic 128-bit memory that's only 8GB of VRAM on a graphics card that costs $400, and I don't think that's worth it, especially if you're gonna be spending, like I said, $400 on a graphics card. I like to think that it's a bit more well-rounded hardware-wise at that price, but that isn't the case for the 4060 Ti, even though in terms of ray tracing, it is okay. But if you go into any higher resolution games at 1440p or even 4K, if you dare with this graphics card, it's going to struggle with textures in games and can suffer a little bit of FPS stutters because of that reduced memory bus and small amount of VRAM. So yeah, no, never consider the 4060 Ti unless it receives the mother of all discounts, which didn't happen Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so. And then here's the graphics card that just needs to go on discount, the 7700 XT, which I guess the only slightly positive news I can give is that as of filming this video, you can pick up a 7700 XT right now on Amazon for $430, which is okay. It needs to be $400, but that's okay, but nothing spectacular. And if you're living here in the United States, I would personally save up for the next graphics card we're gonna cover in a few seconds in this video. Otherwise, the 7700 XT is okay if you need a graphics card for $430. This is the only one, but I just save up an extra $70 because next up, we've got the best graphics cards for under $600, which are the 7800 XT and 4070. But before we get into this comparison, I would like to say RIP to the 6800 XT. It's been real. I don't think the graphics card is gonna come into production anymore. And also a bigger RIP and F's in the chat to the 6950 XT. Because that, after Black Friday and Cyber Monday, looks to never be coming back in stock again. Although I like to think it went out on a high note because it was last seen sold for $550, which is, like I said just earlier, probably a top 3 GPU deal from Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So thank you for your service. So now let's talk about the two graphics cards that are going to be the most viable in this price range. The 7800 XT and 4070. Now, versus my last version of this video 1 month ago, the 4070 is no longer on those Black Friday and Cyber Monday discounts. So this right now at its cheapest on Amazon is $540, and on Newegg, it's about $560. Whereas the 7800 XT is $500 right on the dot on Newegg and $520 on Amazon. So whereas 1 month ago, these graphics cards were a bit more equally priced, now there's a bit of a $40 price difference between these two graphics cards. And because there's a bit more of a price difference, now I think I put a little bit more weight on the 7800 XT if you're looking for the best graphics card in this price range, because between the two, like I said earlier, no amount of software can supplement for poor hardware. And that isn't to say that the hardware on the RTX 4070 is bad. It's just that the RX 7800 XT has better built-in hardware. It's got more VRAM, better raw performance, and I think will be the longer lasting graphics card of the two. But if you're a gamer who is really going to prioritize ray tracing, or if you're a gamer who also dabbles with 3D modeling and AI on the side, then that is where an Nvidia graphics card does make sense, because this for ray tracing will definitely outperform the 7800 XT. But I like to think for the majority of you watching this video who are unsure about what graphics card you should get, I get the one that has better hardware that is built into the graphics card, because like I said, you can never truly upgrade the hardware on a graphics card. It's all soldered onto the PCB, whereas software can always be changed. Now for under $800, the 4070 Ti is honestly making a little bit of a comeback in this price range because it's maintaining roughly the same discounts as it did before Black Friday and Cyber Monday to now, which is what we didn't see in the 4070, and that's something we didn't see in the 4060 Ti or 4060. This right now you can pick up for about $785 at its lowest, which is good. If you look at the 7900 XT, which right now is selling at $800. So in this instance, the 7900 XT actually costs more than the 4070 Ti, which is a bit weird. Now, while you may think, okay, let me go ahead and grab a 4070 Ti, I would stop you there because the rumors of a 4070 Ti Super are definitely real. And I actually think they're worth considering because the main upgrade with those super cards is that they're going to be bringing more VRAM, which is pretty much the only major complaint other than pricing when it comes to these RTX 4000 graphics cards. Despite the software that is in these graphics cards and the better ray tracing performance and the upscaling technologies, they just never have come with enough VRAM unless we're talking about the 4080 or the 4090. But the 4070 Ti Super is rumored to come with 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and if I had to guess the pricing, it's gonna be at least more expensive than a 4070 Ti right now, so maybe about $900 to $1,000, but I definitely would take that because just having that extra bit of VRAM just adds so much more lifespan and security to your PC gaming experience over the years, especially if you're spending this much on a graphics card. So although the 4070 Ti does look tempting right now, I would just wait 1 month because those super cards are rumored to be revealed at CES. Which then leaves you with the 7900 XT, 20 gigabytes of VRAM, $800. I like to think it's gone up in price because so many people bought it during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so its value just isn't as good as it was before. But like I said, between the 4070 and the 7800 XT, you can always upgrade your software, but you never can truly replace your hardware with like more VRAM on a graphics card. What you get is what comes with the graphics card. You can't change anything. And now that we're through all of that, we can finally cover the high-end graphics cards once again, which there is one major shakeup in this price category I'll cover in a bit. But first, I can't let this off the hook. But the 4080 and the 4090 did not receive any discount whatsoever during Black Friday and Cyber Monday. In fact, in the case of the 4090, it went up in price. You can find these right now for $2,500. Bruh. And yet there's still gonna be people in the comments section who are gonna be like, but I want the best graphics card. Okay, how much better are you gonna get spending an extra $1,500 on this versus the obvious choice in this category, the 7900 XTX? I would disagree with anything you'd say other than if you were gonna do path tracing. That is where these high-end RTX 4000 graphics cards make the most sense. I think at this price point, honestly, the 4090 should be reserved for professionals who need the best when it comes to video editing, who need the best when it comes to 3D modeling, who need the best when it comes to AI research and simulations, and who need the best for anything that deals with CUDA applications. But if you're a gamer, a 4090 right now at its price is ridiculously overkill and not worth it. Because like I said, the 7900 XTX can be had right now for $910 on Newegg. That's really good. That is the same price, that's the lowest we saw it on Newegg during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and that price still holds right now. So yeah, if you're a gamer, you're looking for the best graphics card under $1,000, and that's pretty much within a stone's reach or a stone's throw of the 4090 in most gaming, and yeah, get this one. But the one thing that kind of throws a wrench into all of this is the rumored 4080 Super that I don't know anything about. We're not time travelers. I'm not working for Nvidia, so I don't know anything about that card. All I know is that it's either going to be priced at a 4080 right now or at least be more expensive. But again, I don't know if they're gonna make the prices of current RTX cards go down in price or if they're just gonna be priced above, but have the one thing we've been needing for all these NVIDIA graphics cards to have, which is more VRAM, which is the only pitfall a lot of them need or have. That said though, I think the 7900 XTX is still a safe bet. It's $910 right now. That's really good. And again, we don't know anything about the 4080 Super yet, so it's unknown. But the 4080 right now is retailing for $1,200, which is not a deal by any means. So there you have it. That is the best graphics cards you can get right now in December of 2023. Time is running out, so if you want to get anything, now's your chance. Once again, links to all of these graphics cards I talked about in this video can be found in the description below. And with all of that said, thank you so much for watching, and this is the ScatterVolt channel, signing out.